game.
But Liverpool's own problems continue to deepen, having only won just one of 7 league games. Despite being 5th in the table, boss Jurgen Klopp said his team just wasn't good enough against the Foxes.
It was not good enough in the beginning, it was not good enough in the middle, and it was not good enough in the end. I think it was 100% clear what happens here tonight from Leicester side. Back to the roots, lineup was clear. I'm not sure that I ever knew 100%, or was for myself 100% sure which lineup they will choose. It was clear, Ogasaki, Weg, all that stuff. It was clear how emotional the game will be, because if Leicester doesn't show emotion tonight, yeah, that would have been really strange. But in the end, it was not that intense, but we were even not ready for this.
Elsewhere in the Premier League, both clubs in Manchester look set for big decisions in the coming months. Sports presenter Anil Sengera explains more.
Two icons of Manchester, one in the city's blue half, the other in the city's red, have big decisions to make come the end of the season. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has, in the space of a few short months, cemented his position as United's most important player. His 26 goals in all competitions, including 2 on Sunday, which secured the first trophy of the season, the EFL Cup, has got United fans begging him to stay for another year. At 35, Zlatan has nothing to prove. Will he go out at the top, or will he give Mourinho and United another season of his goals? Meanwhile, Yaya Toure has enjoyed 7 often controversial years with Manchester City, but the Ivorian has been instrumental in City's recent success. It was Toure's winning goal in the 2011 FA Cup final, which ended City's 35-year wait for a major trophy. The midfielder was a key player in helping the Blues to 2 Premier League titles. But at 33, Toure finds himself out of contract at the end of the season. A season which has seen him fight his way back into the team after earlier being ignored by manager Pep Guardiola. So will he be around next year at the Etihad? That might just depend on if City and Toure finish this season with a trophy or 2.
Anil Sengera there. Now staying with football, the Kibera Black Stars are the best football team in Nairobi's biggest slum, and the club is helping to lift players out of poverty while giving hope to local residents. Claire Price has this report.
Henry plays for the Kibera Black Stars, the best football team in Nairobi's Kibera slum. The team has won 3 titles in 3 years and is now entering the 2nd division. The 20-year-old's been playing football since he was a child and turned pro at the age of 17.
Football is my work. That's the thing that makes me live. I help my parents with football. So when I play football, that is everything for me, because I have to provide for my family and even for my mother and father.
Over half of Kibera's residents are unemployed, and most live on less than $1 a day. Thanks to his football skills, Henry's managed to escape the poverty that blights the lives of his neighbours.
I'm lucky because in Kibera, even a day, there is someone who does not eat, even a shilling he doesn't have, just stay like that. So I'm lucky. I can say I'm lucky.
In an area known for its crime, drugs, overcrowding, poverty and lack of sanitation, the Black Stars are gradually bringing hope. The players are now viewed as role models for other youngsters growing up in the slum.
I'm proud because it's like we are the eyes of the people. Because in Kibera, people mostly relate with it with so much negativity. So we try to bring light and positiveness in the area where we stay, and that is only by playing football and by winning our matches.
But success has brought financial challenges too. The club must now pay to travel to matches across the country to participate in Kenya's 2nd Division League. With less than half the sponsorship they need, the team hopes that passion on the pitch will propel them to further success.
Now, with the cost of hosting the Olympics spiralling, Beijing is being cautious for when it hosts the 2022 Winter Olympics. Authorities want to leverage interest in that to develop a winter sports culture. Etienne Lamy-Smith reports.
This is the Wanlong ski resort, a few hours north of Beijing and close to the Great Wall of China. It was opened just 13 years ago and will be one of the sites of the 2022 Winter Olympics. Skiers here are mostly beginners, but they're confident China can catch up to the best skiing nations in the world.
China is making progress. It's making progress in this field, but it started developing quite late.
With a growing middle class comes an increasing appetite for the expensive sport. Currently, an estimated 5 to 6 million Chinese people ski regularly, and the government is hoping to reach 300 million by 2030. With relatively little local expertise available, foreign companies are looking to cash in.
We're going to have to provide more technical equipment because today we're at a very beginner's level. We're providing rental skis, so we're going to follow the evolution of the Chinese skier. They're all beginners now, to bring them products that gradually correspond to their development and their use.
The famous French ski school, the ESF, even has its first Chinese graduate. Liu Yang hopes China can start improving its own standards for instructors.
There are qualifications for instructors. It's not as comprehensive as in France. There are many stages, with techniques, qualifications and curricula, to train real ski instructors.
China currently has around 200 ski resorts, and this modest 22-run site is thought to be one of the best. There might still be a way to go before the prolific Olympic medal-winning nation can slide onto the podiums at the Winter Games.
Well, to wrap up the day's sporting action, I'm joined once again by footballing legend John Fashanu. Hello.
Thank you, Charles.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Let's start with the Premier League. Leicester wins their first game of 2017, beating Liverpool 3-1, and that lifts Leicester clear of the relegation zone. So Craig Shakespeare, the caretaker manager, has delivered.
He's delivered, and I think that he must be elated.
He's absolutely over the moon.
Doesn't mean to say that he's going to get the job. You know, caretaker manager, that's exactly what he is.
That's
caretaker
a good point.
Manager. It's great. The players will be very happy. You know, I know what it's like when you've had a manager and you actually don't want the manager to leave. You're always going to have a split in the camp. Some players think that they actually can do better with him. Some know that he's the man there. So I think this has just said that this is a nice breather for Leicester.
Right.
Great result.
So do you suppose this victory would in some ways justify the firing of Claudio Ranieri?
Well, certainly for now, Charles, because how it works normally is you win the first 1 or 2 games and then you go back into the old footsteps unless you have some new blood. When I say new blood, it's a new manager completely. But for now, it's given all of the players a nice lift. They're all happy again, and you need that.
Absolutely. I suppose for those Leicester players, I mean, with Ranieri fired, there was really nowhere to hide, was there? I mean, you can't blame the manager, you can't, you know, you just got to get out there and perform.
I mean, at the end of the day, we always say that the manager, there's no sentiment in football. All of us ex-footballers and footballers, we realise there's no sentiment.
Absolutely.
You're as good as your last game or your last performance. So now, today, Craig is #1 guy.
Absolutely.
Because he's done a great job. Whether he can sustain it over a period of time and motivate those players, wow.
That's the big question.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
let's talk about Manchester United, now the most successful club team in England after that Ibrahimovic goal giving United the League Cup title and a 42nd major trophy, one more than Liverpool. Quite simply, there was no keeping Zlatan Ibrahimovic down, was there?
I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, they just go on and on. It's almost like I have them in my head like the Russians, because the Russians just keep going on slowly, winning when I played against the Russian teams. Manchester United have moved into a slot of their own.
Yeah.
Whether they can keep the striker, I don't know.
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
He's 35.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Because the question must be, at 35, where else would he go?
Well, that's it. But Charles, I do know that when I got to 35, my body wasn't responding.
You mean you're more than 35?
Just a little bit, a couple of years. My body refused to respond as it should do anymore. So for 35, 25, that's normally the age where you're saying it's enough.
Yeah. Well, at least he's lucky that the
Yes.
Manchester United fans actually want him
They
to
love
stay.
him. They love him.
Let's quickly get to this before we go. Let's talk World Cup. According to FIFA President Gianni Infantino, Africa is FIFA's big priority. He says the governing body's investment in Africa will increase from $27 million to $94 million a year. He's also expanding the number of African teams in the World Cup. Why is Africa so important to him?
Well, because you remember we had Sepp Blatter before, and of course, you know, when you've got Africa, you've got 54 votes.
That's true.
54
so you're
votes.
talking re-election,
means re-election.
Yeah.
He's thinking in the head. Of course, he's going to have to rise our slots from 5, as we've got at the moment, to at least 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Let's make it something which is tangible, which will actually give us something to hold on to. If he doesn't do anything like that, then we don't need him.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
On that bucolic note, John Fashanu, the football legend. Thank you very much
Charles.
indeed. Now to entertainment news, and after picking up Best Picture at the Oscars, the movie Moonlight is helping to ignite hope in an historic Miami ghetto. The movie, which addresses 3 defining chapters in the life of Kyron, a young black man growing up in Miami, is helping inspire a community like that one featured in the film. Liberty City, often portrayed in the news as troubled by crime, violence and drugs, is looking to the Oscar winner for inspiration to address the city's challenges and motivate the next generation.
Well, our community, you know, a lot of people think that it's, you know, it's a bad community, and it's not. I mean, we are tough, we are smart, we're talented, we're gifted, and we do what we need to do. We just need our students or our children to see the positive aspect of Liberty City. And great things do come out of Liberty City.
Now, the wait is finally over for fans of the X-Men series. The new movie Logan is due to hit the big screen in the next few days. Australian actor Hugh Jackman will return to the role as Wolverine, which he first played 17 years ago in the first X-Men movie released in 2000. He's popped those adamantium claws through the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and like Logan, a trilogy of Wolverine solo films. It's Jackman's 7th film playing the character, but at 48, he's confirmed that it'll be his last. Now, Kourtney Kardashian has been causing a stir after she posted pictures online of her 4-year-old daughter wearing a lip ring. The Keeping Up with the Kardashian star posted a picture on Instagram of her snuggled up in bed with daughter Penelope. Reports say she'd missed out on Oscar parties on Sunday to spend some time with her little ones at home. Many people took to social media sites to express their disgust at a 4-year-old wearing a lip ring. You're with Arise News in Abuja, Nigeria. It's coming up to the top of the hour this Tuesday morning. Let's remind you of our headlines here on Thisday Live. Running for president, Nigerian Chief Bola Tinubu prepares a challenge for the 2019 election. A charm offensive in the Niger Delta as plans are stepped up to combat militants in the area. And surviving a famine, South Sudan residents are forced to gather water lilies for food. You've been watching This Day Live from Nigeria with me, Charles Onyegolu. That's just about all we have time for on this edition, but do please keep it here on Arise News. You can follow us on our social media channels, including Instagram, Arise News Network, and of course, Snapchat, YouTube,